Hello, everyone, and welcome out to episode 348 of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. I will probably forget that number later on, so remember that, 348.
348.
So, thank you. Well, you don't have to. By the way, we have Kyle.
Hello.
And just real quick, our show, lovely sponsors, Pack Rat Comics, Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. The magically unauthorized misadventures of Rocky and Boinko at gbgpresentspod.com. And there's more links for that in the show notes. Big thing I want to talk to you about is we are part of the It's All Been Done Presents Network, or IABDP for short. Speaking of the IABDP, IABD Presents is hosting a short story competition. The inaugural theme is I Knew You Before the Fall of Rome. To just get a general sense of what the rules are, go to IABDpresents.com. And you've already missed the deadline, but the thing is, I think they're releasing the collection right now, so you can see who the winner was, and it will eventually be recorded in audio format. And if you want to look for next year as well, there's also potential for some royalties. So check that out if you're interested and get a jump on next year's. To start writing now, because always write. Mm-hmm. Don't stop writing. Don't stop, won't stop.
You didn't mess up once there.
I did not. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. You know what? Fuck all you people who say I mess up all the time. You know, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So this is great because we have Kyle on the show. She is, you remember from Beauty and the Beast, Guardians. I thought for a second Spider-Man. That's why I was like, I was gonna do
Spider-Man, but then I had tech,
right.
And I'll be here later this week too.
Woo! And hopefully we'll get you for Thor. Everyone.
Hey Tom, what's up?
What's up? But we're going to talk about a movie that I've been talking about, and I wanted to talk about. It was one of those things where I saw it, and then like my schedule blew up, and then the podcast itself, as you all know, kind of went meh for a bit. And but one of the things I was like, I don't care if it's not out in theaters anymore, but luckily it is,
yes.
And it will probably soon be on digital.
Yes,
and that is the movie The Big Sick. So, just FYI, Kyle has some cool stuff you can check out. First off, she's involved at Mad Lab. She doesn't have any big stuff coming, I don't think, right?
Nothing huge.
MadLab.net.
Yep. So yeah, you can see my hilarious tweets on the Mad Lab Twitter, and then on my personal one, which is the female Kyle.
I do love that.
Yeah.
And then she also has, which is really cool, and I will be interviewing the creator of the series. It's called Red Roo. And you can find it what's the name of it again? Red Roo Series? Red
Roo Series, and that's R-U-E.
Mm-hmm.
So R-E-D. It's at Red Roo Series. Yeah, yep. R-E-D-R-U-E Series. And we're on Instagram, we are on Twitter, and we are on Facebook currently. And then our YouTube page is also Red Roo Series.
Right, and so and she's in that along with some other friends of mine that are at Mad Lab, and it's so awesome. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to speak to Michelle, who's the creator and writer and director, I think, as well. She's
the wonderful Michelle Hansen.
Yes.
We love her. Also, I lied. I'm actually female Kyle at Twitter. I'm the female Kyle on Instagram if you want to look at pictures of my food. That won't be the first time or the last time you'll hear Nick do that tonight.
I know. Well, folks, we have a wonderful show. It's episode 348. I didn't forget this. And I think I said it multiple times because usually I just say it and then I just keep going and then it's like
wait.
The other problem is that I'll scroll down enough that I don't remember where. And I'm like, well, I've already put the phone down. I'm not going back to look at my notes because. Fuck the notes. Actually, though, I just put out that our guest is amazing and had notes for our topic, and we're going to get to all of that and more, and Nick's no notes. And so here is episode 348, The Big Sick with Kyle.
Woo!
All right, so yeah, so The Big Sick. We're just going to jump right in. The Big Sick, for those who don't know, it's IMDb. Lovely says here in this ad, it's an awkward true story. You know what? Hold on. I just realized that I haven't checked the vocals yet.
Oh no,
this is horrible. Yeah. You know what? We're keeping this in because
we're doing it. This is real life, baby.
That's right. Say something.
Hello.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Hi there. I shame ate some Panda Express before I came over here today.
All right, we're good. Okay, yeah. We had Amazon Prime Royal Red Robin. Or Red Robin, I had the Royal.
It doesn't go to my side of town yet. But Prime Now does. Which I'm like, isn't it that the weird? Same bank of drivers?
Like, yeah, you would figure.
Yeah, but no,
that's
like...
bizarre.
I mean, it's kind of good for me and my checkbook, because I'm like, oh, I should just make something. But I can't... I think the only thing that delivers to the south side is, like, Grubhub right now. Like, Postmates doesn't. Prime Restaurants doesn't. Uber Eats does, but eh.
Well, Amazon... The only thing is they didn't let me use my store card, and that was a bummer.
Oh... That's weird.
I had to use an actual card, which, here's the thing, I'm sure if I had to pull up my card info and type it in, it'd be fine, but I didn't want to do that. Maybe it's just because it's not officially through the Amazon store. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a third-party vendor thing.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I used to work around here, so when I
Did you really?
I used to work on Hilliard and Rome, so as I'm driving through, I was like oh shit. There's Panda Express here. And I'm like, I should go to Piata and be healthy. And I'm like, but I really want Panda Express.
But is Piata really that healthy?
If you get a salad, maybe. Like, I was able to eat it on Whole30.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
It was like only like 2 things on
because
Whole30.
I think you were doing Piata the first time I actually met you. Like, really sat down. Yeah. They had the couch at Mad Lab, and I sat right next to you, and you were doing...
I was eating Piata it was like salad with no dressing and like steak, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've eaten all day.
And I remember Kat came in, and she's like, she was doing it too. And she's like, oh god, Piata.
We all made a lot of choices that month.
But here's the thing, those were probably mostly good choices. No?
Sure.
Let's go with that.
Let's keep in mind that I also just shame ate some Panda Express in the parking lot alone in my car listening to the podcast.
Oh
no, it was like one of those things where it was like a good decompression.
Okay.
Shame eating.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it was just Sarah and I eating Red Robin upstairs, and then I only ate the fries, and then I put so yeah. I was like, yay, dinner later for me.
Second dinner, it's my favorite. Well, adulthood's fun.
Adulthood is not fun. It's the worst. The worst. Okay, you sent, so for those who remember Kyle, she's done a few episodes now, and, but Garbage Human.
Garbage Human Kyle Jepson.
Yeah, that's right. So, I didn't say that, anyway. But I like that. You sent me that image from, I think, Moya Art or whatever. And I looked at her Instagram last night, and I was like, why do these relate to everything? Like, they're so good.
I mean,
they're so good. Yeah.
I know in reality I'm probably like, I'm okay as a person, but like, I just like the idea of like, you know, referring to myself as a garbage human.
Oh yeah, I kind of do now too, which, yeah, my wife's like, don't do that, she shouldn't do that. It's like, it's a joke. No, it's not that funny.
Oh yeah, well I mean.
It's funny. It's funny.
See, nobody else can call me a garbage human. I call myself a garbage human, so it makes it perfect.
It's Chandler from Friends.
Yeah.
If you're self-deprecating to yourself, it's okay.
Yeah, defense mechanisms.
Else calls you that. To be clear, I was not calling you that earlier. I was saying, yeah, okay. All right. Well, anyway.
I'm all right with that being my moniker.
We have DJ Meat, Jimmy, and Garbage Human.
Sounds like a morning radio show from hell.
It actually.
The Morning Zoo.
Okay, so, oh my god, originally when we started this podcast, that was when it was the No Name Show. That was the intention. It was supposed to be Nathan and I doing that, and then Jimmy would add TV reviews, but then Nathan just wouldn't talk, and it became Jimmy and I just going off about everything else.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, let's just, and Nathan got peer pressured by other people because podcasts weren't that well done, or not well. Yeah, really, the only one that I thought was really known at the time was Ricky Gervais. Yeah, so he got kind of bullied out of it, and then we bullied him back into it. Yeah, eventually. Anyway,
it's a reverse bully.
It's a reverse bully. So anyway, yeah. So the Big Sick.
Yes.
Because great transition. The film stars Kumail Nanjian as. Am I saying that right?
Kumail Nanjian.
Kumail, yeah.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjian.
Take a drink, everybody. There you go. I'm just going to... It's Kumail? Kumail. Fuck. Kumail. Zoe Kazan as Emily. Holly Hunter as Beth. Ray Romano as Terry. And then you have... Oh, no, come on. Bo Burnham is one of the actors.
Yeah, Bo Burnham. Addie... Oh, no. I'm going to mess up her name.
Heidi
From SNL.
SNL, Bryant.
80 Bryant,
and then Kurt Braunholer. I'm not saying that last one right.
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know him.
He's his roommate, Chris.
Okay.
Who is just... He is literally a garbage human.
I mean...
literally. Like, he is... Like,
I feel like we've all had a roommate like Chris before.
Well, and I think the other thing that's interesting, too, is that... Have you ever seen the film Don't Think Twice?
No, it's on my list.
It's on Netflix, but it's about improv, but it's about what if... Now, granted, that becomes the whole purpose of that. That's
the one where, like, one person in the improv group makes it big. And
yes.
Yeah, it came out during the period of time where I didn't take a break. And I basically was doing a show back to back to back to back. So I was like, oh, that looks really good. I'm sure I would love that. Never saw it.
Yeah, I saw it randomly one night when I couldn't sleep, and I pulled up. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the cast, I mean, and one of them isn't really known for being an improviser. It's the girl from Community. At least that I'm aware of. She's not...
Alison Brie or Gilliam Jacobs.
Gilliam Jacobs.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have not known her openly to be from an improv background. I'm sure Community, they did stuff because you have a whole list of comedians, Joel McHale, Chevy Chase, Donald Glover. But Alison Brie really is really wicked smart, too. She's like Tina Fey to me.
Yeah, no, and I think it's the same thing. I know that, like, Gillian Jacobs especially, like, I've listened to a lot of interviews with her.
Oh, yeah?
She's a huge NPR nerd, it turns out.
What?
I know.
That's awesome.
She's just pretty hilarious and self-deprecating in her own right, and so I could see her doing stuff like that.
But she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's really good. But but that's the whole basis of that movie and how it kind of eats away at everything else. It's very done tastefully because it's not his story, but like that's his storyline technically, which is because that's the other thing too that the movie goes into. What if you're never going to make it?
Yeah.
And don't think twice. That's the thing. It's like you've reached the cap and you were good at that, but you are not. You do not pass go.
Yeah.
You do not. You are stuck at garden
you
place.
Can't go up to the next level. You're,
right.
Like,
you're
this is
stuck.
your glass ceiling, as it were.
Yeah. And so, like, that's kind of him, I feel like. That's his lot in the story, and that's kind of the running joke for him, which is like, don't worry about him. We're just going to leave him behind.
Yeah. And I mean, he even kind of has that moment of, like, realization at the end where Kumail's like, you should come. And he goes, no, I'm good here. And you're like, you know, at least he is somewhat reflective to the point where he's like, he like knows. Because I mean,
some people
like,
don't.
Me personally, I know that I could never quote unquote make it in New York because I do this thing where, for a while I was thinking like, oh, do I want to live in New York? Do I want to try to go to New York and do the theater thing? And I went there with my family, and I like one night, like kind of not super late at night, but late enough that my family had gone to sleep. I got up and left the hotel room and walked around the city by myself just to see kind of like how I felt. Yeah. And I was just like a crippling mess of anxiety, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever do it. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I could ever like deal with a city like that all the time. I love visiting New York. I love going there, but the idea of like going there, and I've also known a fair share of friends who have gone there and have like struggled to exist. And
are they acting friends too? Or,
there's some acting friends and some writing friends, and I mean, some of them have made it work really well for them, and some don't and come back, and that's okay too.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's one of those things that I just kind of like thought about it, and I was just like, it's not for me. I think I could probably do like a Chicago if I wanted to.
Chicago, yeah, but they have great theater there. Steppenwolf. Matter of fact, they're actually a fantastic theater town.
They're a great theater town and a really good improv town too.
They are too.
Even though I can never do improv because I'm terrible at thinking off the cusp, on the fly. I'm doing really good right now, as you can see. Snaps for me. And then I would never be able to live in LA because it's a garbage city. Yeah. But although I might fit in there.
I was like, you set that one up, but then you recovered. I just remembered, like, you know, that's a hard thing for people. Like Stephen Tobolowsky talked about. He's the guy, for those who don't know out there, he's Needle Nose Ned from Groundhog Day. He's in everything.
He is in everything. He's in Heroes. He's in...
Yeah, he was great in Heroes. Back when that show was actually...
He's actually, do you know, because we just did the Buffy reading, he was the principal in the original Buffy pilot. Like, before it got recast with Allison Hannigan, and he was the original principal, because I was watching it on YouTube, and I was like, what is going on?
I love Tobolowsky, but he has a podcast, and it's like spoken word, and it's really, I mean sometimes, and it's not always about acting, sometimes it's about like deep stuff, like, and it's actually very philosophical. It's surprisingly good. But there's one episode where he talks about how it's just really about the life of a New York actor. And he goes like, look, I did Mississippi Burning, and so that got me some heat. Mm-hmm. But my first thing was, I need to take a break from film, so I'm going to do this play in New York. And me and my wife weren't making a lot of money, surprisingly. So like we put that down towards a house, and now I'm back to square one. I'm kind of broke again. What do I do? Well, I'm going to do a play in New York, and I'm thinking, this is great. No, I get pretty much maybe a little bit more than everybody else, and almost all my money is going towards rent. Mm-hmm. And like he kind of laid it out. He's like, so you barely have any money. And granted, you don't really have time to eat and do that because they're working you hard. And he's like, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, but you have to have it is soul crushing.
And it's the kind of thing that you need to be prepared for it, right? And like know that you're gonna struggle for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel personally like I get that kind of artistic fulfillment here.
No, yeah,
and I don't need to go to like the big city.
Yeah.
And because I also grew up in a city, and I'd rather
San Diego.
I'd rather be content and happy, and like not fear where my next paycheck or meal is coming from.
Right, that definitely happens. And literally, it happens if you go into that profession and try to hit New York and LA hard.
Exactly. And like I have mad respect for anyone who does that.
Oh,
like
me
it's
too.
Like, all right, yeah, I really hope that you make it, because I know that I would probably like bitch out 2 weeks in.
And it gets harder too the more you go along. Like there's a part of me that has always toyed with going to LA and just trying to get into voice acting. Mm-hmm. But now it's just like, well, I'm trying to start a family. Like my roots are here. It's this horrible like. Mm-hmm. So it gets harder as you go along too, because then you have a job that does fully support you. If you take a month off, there goes your vacation for the year.
Yeah,
it's one of those kinds. It's really horrible. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of a point of the movie, not just for Chris, but for him as well, which is he's trying to get his big break. In
Absolutely,
comedy.
and he's working the grind. He's doing Uber, and he's he's an Uber driver. And like, and we talk about
yes.
So Nick and I met doing Sketchy Sex at Mad Lab.
Yes,
which I think I remember. I don't know if I commented on something and like tagged you in it, and I was like, they stole our fucking joke.
Yeah.
Because we had a joke at the end of a sketch where a girl's like, you know what, first she, fakes
First off, it's the worst date ever.
It's the worst date ever. She fakes a stomach flu to try to get out of it, and everything she says, he has like Nick's character had a comeback to be like, no, it's fine, we'll keep going. It's good. And then she ultimately fakes a pregnancy and like fakes her water breaking, and then he offers to drive her to the hospital, and she's like, no, it's good. I'll get an Uber. And then, like...
well, isn't that a quinky dang?
I am an Uber driver. Months later, flash forward to this summer, and I watched that preview, and I was like, oh, Kumail Nanjian. And then, like, I watch it, and I'm like, oh my God.
Woosley and Shayna sent me an email, like, when the trailer first dropped, and then people, like... it wasn't just you either, like other people started tagging me in the trailer. I was like, yay! And then Greg, who we do Mad Lab stuff with, he's doing Lyft now.
Yeah, I've heard this.
And he's like, I was thinking of you the other day. I was like, oh, why? What did I do? And he's just like, no, you did nothing. I tried out Lyft for a bit. Did it go well? Yeah, it went well. But I was thinking of you. I was like, there we go.
That's just what you're going to be.
I'm 100% okay with that.
There are worse things.
But yeah, there's always worse things to be than the creepy Uber driver. No. I mean, look, I had to approach it like he's in his mind, right? Mm-hmm.
That's every character.
That's every character.
Even so-called villains or antagonists. Like
right, like they think they're in the right.
They think they're the good guy.
Yeah,
and I mean he is probably a good guy. Just Shayna's character wasn't the person for him.
A lot of people are probably not the person for him. That's the key. And scene.
But no, like I love that kind of. It shows like a lot of people like have to do the side hustle to do what they really love. Like I consider my full-time job like kind of just like I really like my job, but I do it so I can continue to do theater, and so I can continue to do like what my passion is, which is like live performance and theater and storytelling. And
I feel like, and I mean, that's how I am too. Jimmy, I think, will definitely say the same thing about It's All Been Done. Like, that's like, if he could somehow make $1 million off of doing what he does, he would quit his job. But like, there used to be a podcast, JT Shea, and that's actually how I got into podcasting. Is he did a podcast called The Gigcast, and it was part of Night Gig Studios, and it's for people who did webcomics. But he's like, it's your night gig. It's what you live to do. And I was like, I'm sure it's probably been said elsewhere in other ways, but like, that's exactly what it is. What we do, and I think it's actually, the full quote on their website is a little bit longer. It's talking about what you do during the day is not, it's what at night what you live to do. I'm like, damn, it's so good.
No, it's absolutely true.
But I
did the same thing. Like, before my current position, I was the office lady at a high school, and didn't make a lot of money. And this was right when around the time that I started doing Mad Lab stuff, because I wasn't traveling all the time. My first job I traveled all the time, so I couldn't do theater.
Yeah.
So when I finally was able to be at home full time and do that, like for a little bit, I worked at Kingmakers, which is a board game parlor in the Short North. I worked there for about a year.
I have a question, but I'm going to pin that on there. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to pin that. And when it came down to it, I actually, at that point, I was working my full-time job, working at Kingmakers on the weekends, and then the few hours that I wasn't sleeping, I was doing Mad Lab stuff, and it got to the point where it was kind of like, okay, something's got to give, and I ended up quitting Kingmakers, because at the end of the day, it was Mad Lab that, gives me artistic fulfillment or some shit, who knows? Oh, yeah.
I love it. So, yeah, but it's just so busy all the time, and I think that they really do capture that really well in this movie, is just how you do have downtime, but it's mostly like, for me, when I have downtime now, it's just almost like I'm like re-energizing, or just kind of, kind of recharging.
My wife is very different than I, which is her way of recharging is getting things done, like other things done. And I know that's not really what she means to do, but like, I'm one of those, like, I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to do fuck nothing. Like, I will do what you do, is like order a pizza and just crash. There will be nothing, there shall be no work of any kind. I don't have that busy mind syndrome where you got to keep doing it. God, I don't know how she does.
I try to do a lot. I try to do some stuff, but it's more of like,
I do creative stuff.
I will do these things, so then I can fuck off all I want later. Like, I will put 2 loads of laundry away, and then I know that I can sit here and stare at a ceiling for an hour.
You're better than me then.
Well, that comes from a mom thing. Like, my mom always instilled in me, like, she would be like, get all your homework done first, and then you can do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
Or she would, like, good parenting tip here, she would hide money at different places around the house. And she'd be like, get all your homework done and do the dishes, and then call me, and I'll tell you where this money is, and you can go to the arcade. And I'm like, okay.
That's fucking rad.
It was a good idea. And my friends were always like, why don't you just lie and tell her that you did the things and then just get the money? I'm like, because then I will never get the money again, Ashley.
What was I watching where it's all about... What was I talking about where they were talking about lying is never the best policy?
I don't know.
Oh, it was Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah, I'm not caught up yet. I'm a couple episodes behind.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it's always weird. And, so Side Hustle. Sorry, I completely forgot how we inceptioned to there.
Yeah, we inceptioned with Side Hustle. But yeah, he does that, and then he goes, to the comedy club. And I love how, I feel like a lot of the comedians I know, and I don't know too many, I feel like a lot of them go to a lot of different clubs. Like, all over town, and like, this is Chicago, so I feel like they have to have a shit ton of nightclubs, and yet they only seem to go to this one, which I found kind of funny.
But they did talk about going to a lot of other ones.
They did?
Once or twice. Like, and it was mostly with Bo Burnham's character. I think the SNL chick, that was her home turf, and so she said there, but I know, at least I thought so, because it was kind of a joke with Kumail. He's just like, I've done other clubs,
Yeah. I must have missed that, but I was, watching it. It kind of struck me as funny, because I feel like any comedian I know, it's like, oh, I'm doing open mic here tonight, and then tomorrow I'm here, and then next week I'm out here, and then I'm 40 minutes away, and you're just kind of like finding the open mics to like kind of go into. But these weren't as much open mics as they were actual sets that people seem to pay money for.
In retrospect, I will say that it's purely probably budgetary reasons why they did that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's a good point. They were there. Granted, I mean, I thought I heard them say that, but I mess it up all the time, so there's a good chance that did not happen.
Yeah,
but that's valid. But yeah, so then he meets this girl doing his normal pickup routine, which is really funny.
Which I love her ability, and I'm assuming this is probably based on the Emily that he's married to in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just such a ball buster in the best way. Like, her just kind of staring at him like very evenly and going, "That work ever for you? What you did there?"
Yeah. Yeah, oh man. And I mean, that's the other thing too, is that it doesn't feel like comedy either, which is nice.
It's not.
It's all real.
It's not a very it's a funny movie, but it's not like a laugh heavy movie. There's a couple of the like really the fun lines that, you know, got a laugh in the theater from everybody. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, like, it's just, you know, a lot of comedy like is based in real life, and this was just such a real movie to watch. It was so good.
And I did love too. So he meets the girl. For those listening at home, he meets the girl, and then and they start getting serious. Now, while this is going on, his family, in particular his mom and dad, are pressuring for marriage, which is very common in their culture, and really did happen to him. Yeah.
So I think it's kind of, you know, they hook up, but he, you know, knows that like he can't date a white girl, because I think they mentioned in the story that he has a cousin or another family member who is married to an Irish person, and like the family doesn't talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they do a really good job at establishing kind of the stakes of what is happening between, like, and I feel like really playing on the two sides of his feelings. Like, obviously he, you know,
it's his family.
It's his family that, you know, they've dropped everything and they moved to the United States so he could have a better life, and yet they, you know, still want him to lead a very traditional life. So they set him up on these, like, you know, on these like blind.
We're just asking
dates,
you for this one thing, and which
the line that cracked me up so bad during these things is like, he's like, well, let me guess. A girl's going to come in here, and she'll just be passing by our house that's in a cul-de-sac. And I loved my shit.
I also like, too, that, and this is also true, if you ever have beef with a family member, there's always one family member that is your go-to family member person, and it's usually not with them. And so, but they're they have to take a side, which is his brother, I feel like. I mean, yeah, and it's just like, he's rooting for him, but at the same time, he's like, you know, he's looking at it from the family. He was like, you can't do that, or I won't be able to talk to you anymore. Like, he's already made it. It's a weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're very much like kind of on the same side, but he kind of does the eyebrow raise, and he's like, you got to fall in line. Like, this exactly. is what we need to do to make our family. You want to make your family happy,
right?
You know, like, and especially, you know, they do dinner like every week, so it's obvious that they are a very tight knit family.
Exactly, yeah, and you can totally justify his reasoning with it. It's not just they're telling you that in dialogue, they're showing you, like, because that's one of the things they do show too, is that he doesn't love all the family stuff. Like, he's supposed to go down and pray. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, he just like watches videos on YouTube,
which and that's a very real thing. He was like, I have to go.
Yeah, let me set a timer and just I'll go through the motions to make mom and dad happy.
Right, here's the mat, so if I can, if they do come down, I can quickly
just get down. Really quick. Yeah,
and
you can tell that it's like, it is a
thought out.
It is a thought out. It's like it is a, what's the word? It is a routine that he has played out many a time.
Right, and it's meticulous in how he does it. Yeah, it makes sure the chair's far enough away from, I feel like, from the mat. And and
it also really, I think, still plays into the modern sensibility of how awkward like setups are and how awkward blind dates can be.
Oh yes,
like, you know, just like the people that are like, the girl that's trying too hard. She's like, the truth is out there, and
Jesus,
it gives you that secondhand embarrassment that just makes you want to crawl inside your own skin.
It's like, lady, you do not like X-Files.
No,
because look, I'm a big sci-fi nerd, and I don't love X-Files. Like, it's moderately okay. It has some really good things in it, and then it just kind of ooh.
Well, you know that Kumail Nanjian, he hosts a podcast called the X-Files Files, where it's just like an episode by episode like breakdown of each, because he actually is like a huge X-Files fan in real life. And that's like I loved like that they brought kind of tidbits of their, because this is, you know, this is a true story. I don't know if we've said that yet.
Yeah. It's a very true story. They've only changed little things. I think the girl's name is different.
Her last name is different. Because her name is Emily. Because the two of them hosted a podcast called the Indoor Kids, which is adorable. They just talk about video games.
See, and it makes me sad. I mean, granted, it's good for them, though, that they haven't been able to do more of them because they've actually gotten busy. And because it was one of those things where they were doing it because we have nothing to do. And, I mean, I guess one of us has an odd job here or there. And so we did it, and I think he started doing Silicon Valley, and then she started actually running like the Nerd Melt podcast live stuff for a little bit. And then it's like, we don't have time to play video games much anymore.
Well, and I think the Nerdist network in general, they're really good about people like kind of leaving and coming back, because I was a huge, there's a one on their network called Sex Nerd Sandra. That I loved listening to, and she hasn't really uploaded a whole lot lately, but she'll still update periodically and occasionally release an episode, and I think I kind of enjoy that, like knowing that they could possibly go back to that when and if things slow down for them.
I feel like I'm catching up to some of this because I know they've been there for a while, but like I literally I was like, oh, there's too much in the network going on. I'm gonna stick with Nerdist and just you know, and again, that's pick and choose. I
feel that way with podcasts all the time though, because I used to listen to nothing but podcasts religiously when I traveled, because I would be traveling all over the state.
They are
for
really
a week
good
at a time.
for
and
listening
so
to, I feel like.
And that's the thing, like with music, I kind of zone out and I would like kind of get highway hypnosis. So with podcasts, I'm a little more tuned in. So I was able to pay attention and drive at the same time and not fall asleep behind the wheel. But now the work I do, I can't really...
Yeah, you can't do both.
Like, I'll try, and then a half hour will go by and be like, what were they talking about? I, like, tuned out doing an Excel sheet.
Yeah, and you can't do that with some of those podcasts, because then you miss on the jokes, you miss on common threads that they're talking about. Right now, you have no idea how we got to where we're talking about people, because you've zoned out, and that's okay.
Well, you know, we can go back to one of my favorite early quotes in the movie, which is, I don't date time nerds. Like, talking about 2 days over 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, well, we have a 2-day rule now. Like, you know, I won't see you till Monday because the 2-day rule. And again, her just being like, calling him on his shit. Like, I don't date time nerds. And
yeah, that's man. So when I was dating, and it's dating sucks. So
it sure does.
I was doing I remember I was really big into, because I was actually getting hits from, I was doing OkCupid. All the other ones I tried were not going great.
I just deactivated my OkCupid account, and it was so empowering.
It is, right?
Wonderful.
But the thing is, you'll still get emails occasionally saying, like, I get one like once a year saying, it's your birthday, why don't you reactivate your account? I'm like, I'm good. What part of
Do you need me to send you a picture of my wedding?
Yeah, like Jesus. So, but it's always interesting because I'm like, oh, OkCupid. I remember those horrible but wonderful times.
It's, like I think any of my girlfriends that I've like been like, oh, you should try OkCupid, because like a few people that I've dated for a period of time, I've mostly met through OkCupid. None of them worked out, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think how did I describe it? I described it like wading through a swamp full of swamp creatures, but every now and then you might find like one tiny little gem in a big old pile of shit.
But I just remember that was always a common thread of when you date people. It was always the worst. And just and I was bad at the rule thing, which is how long do you
wait?
Because people do actually pay attention to that stuff, or you're too needy or something like that. And I was just like,
I feel like anyone who takes the time to invest like thought and like effort into those kinds of rules like is not someone that anyone should ever want to date.
But that's what I'm saying is like I feel like if like, because I wasn't doing those, and then like I was just like, and then the one girl did tell me, is like, well, you kind of like, after like the very next day, I was like, you kind of said, well, I had fun, you want to do it again? I was like, you didn't wait the time frame, and that just kind of weirds me out. I'm like, oh, okay. So then,
for the podcast listeners at home, I am rolling my eyes. So
yeah. So then I actually wrote on a sticky note that I had next to my computer wall. I was like, do not text or call within so many, like I had rules written out so I could. I mean, I started getting a little bit more like dates, but still, it sucked that I had to go to that length. But so, I mean,
modern dating is such a
it is so, but good for her for about fucking the time nerd rule. Because,
well, and I do like that, and how I feel like their early kind of dates where she's like, okay, well, I'm never going to see you again, and then they hang out again, and I also I just think that they really hit the nail on the head with showing like the early dating times of someone.
Yes.
Like the kind of awkwardness of it, and just, oh, let's watch a movie. And then 5 minutes later they're making out. And, it's just, I feel like they captured kind of a little blip in time that is like right now and kind of what the modern dating scene is.
Yes. And so this happened to one of our friends, but there's a scene where the breakup scene where she loses her shoe and or the fight scene. It's called the fight scene. That happened to someone we both know.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda. And it was like, I even said, I was like, I'm going to put that in a podcast, not a podcast, I'm going to put that in a script or something someday, because like it's not funny when it's happening, but in retrospect, it's like you can't find your shoe and you've been looking for it for a half hour to an hour. You cannot find it. And then it's to the point where the person that you think you're mad at is also trying to help you. And it's just a very weird situation. And I was just like, and I'm like, oh no. And I was just like, God damn it, they put it in the movie.
It was so real. And I mean,
it is, because that's what would happen.
Like from a personal story from my life, like I actually lost my like childhood copy of Harry Potter, and I've like it's kind of bothered me, but I'm also like, it's fine, just send it off to the island of misfit toys and stop thinking about it. But every now and then I'm like,
it makes me
they
sad.
left that door open occasionally. I could just like sneak in the middle of the day and go get my copy of Harry Potter from 1998 back. No, don't do that, kids. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Oh my god. Because then like something bad. You just don't do that.
They don't do that. And it's kind of one of those like it's one of those like sacrifices that you throw into the volcano to make the gods happy.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so we haven't even got to the point of the movie. Well, I mean, the point of the movie is how they met, right? But
yeah, I mean, they meet and they very, I think, quickly form a very like strong bond to each other, because you know, oh god, like that scene where she kind of admits to sort of being a little bit of an alcoholic during her first marriage, and that leads to her talking about the first marriage,
right?
And then her like, I'm not like a like out loud kind of reactor in movies. Like I'll laugh if something is especially funny, but when she says that line, like, you know, like, I'm overwhelmed by you, I was like, oh, like it was. Yeah, I think they did such a good job at like the early days, and then it all goes to shit when she finds out about the arranged marriage thing.
And again, the way he handles that is also poor on his part too. In retrospect, like if my parents were doing that to me, I don't think I'd keep my greatest hits collection of that.
Yeah, especially if like, you know, a person is spending a lot of time at your place and you're, you know, kind of settling into this like routine of just like being around each other all the time, like that kind of shit's gonna come to the surface real quick.
Now, the only thing I could say is that, and maybe they didn't keep it in or they didn't film it or something, is, and this is my mind thinking now, is that there is an explanation for why he did that. Like, do you still have that girl's information? Oh, yeah. And then he didn't. And then so they asked him for it. He had to lie. He said, I don't have it. I threw it away. I lost it. And they got mad at him. And so then he started. But they never really go into that. Like, and which is fine. It's not like a huge thing. But like in retrospect, but it is just like, bro, why are you doing that?
I also wonder if one of the reasons he was keeping them around is, you know, it's kind of like, this is going to be a weird roundabout, but like I went to Ohio State because I knew I wanted to study theater, but I decided to go to like an actual university college over like an art school.
Yeah.
Because in the back of my mind, I was like, well, maybe one day if I don't want to do this anymore, I can switch to like a real major, and I can do that at Ohio State, but I can't do that at UArts in, you know, Pennsylvania. So I think that might have, I'm like retconning this in my own head, that maybe he was like, you know, okay, well, one day maybe I'll want to call one of these girls and like give it the old college try.
And they do get to one possibly that may be that way, like if he has to put the white flag up and then kind of give in. And of course, and that's the thing, is that he is honest with her, which is nice. But it's a little bit too little too late too.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
because he leads her on. Which
and they, you know, they do. It's so funny because and like she tells him, like that girl's like tells him, you know, stop saying sorry all the time. You know, like just figure out what you want and go for it in a way.
Yeah.
And oh man, she also has like that killer line, like, do you ever just want to be in a relationship so you can relax? And I think that really plays into a lot of the early dating stuff that they go through.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they're watching the movie together and she's like, and Emily's like kind of sitting there and he's watching her watch the movie. And she's like, I love when men, you know, try to judge my taste in things.
Yeah, okay, so this is horrible, and I felt really bad about it, but I still do that with my wife.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you've not seen Goonies?
Yeah, and you're like trying to covertly watch them out the side.
But it's to the point where, or you just do, here's the thing, it's not that obvious, but like you'll just sit there, you'll watch, and every once in a while you look over, and the thing that will just start to go, oh no, the movie's failing, is that she'll pull out her phone and start looking at, which again, because again your interest is not. So I
we did the same thing more recently because for the other podcast, for Amanda's podcast,
yes.
Watching The Princess Bride, because it was going to be Shane, Dallas, so Kristen, Anna, and I all watched it with the two of them, and Dallas had never seen it before. What? So it was one of those things where we were kind of like all, sort of like side-eye, like,
Dallas, did you like it?
And we were like, oh wait, this is coming up. Okay, like at one point during the ROUSs, like he was writing notes, so he like looked down, and I knew it was coming up, so I kind of was like a tap 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 tap. I'm like, you pay attention. This is the funniest part in the damn movie. And to his credit though, he is actively trying to be engaged, but he's also writing, which that's also that was the one time that I was like you doing the point to the screen, because it was the rodents of unusual size. I don't think they exist.
Boom.
And you gotta for that part. But yeah, going back to the movie.
Sorry, yeah.
But yeah, they do like the whole awkward dating thing, and she eventually finds out about the arranged marriages, and rightfully so freaks out, because she talks about like, oh, I just saw so many red flags and I ignored them, which I think everyone does in relationships, that they're kind of snitting with someone, and you're like, oh, that normally that would worry me, but it's fine, it shouldn't be a big deal, and then it turns out for her to be a very big deal. And it was like really heartbreaking for her to ask, can you see us ever working out? And he very honestly answers, no, I don't, because he knows that if he were to like pursue her seriously, that it would lead to his family never talking to him again.
Right. And then I forget, does he ask her, he's like, can you please let me, doesn't he say, can I at least explain it to you? Or no, he doesn't even do that, because it's in the throes of the moment.
He does explain it a little bit, but
it's not enough where we can calmly go, okay, here's what, which, and of course, because it's one of those things, like, we know what's going on.
Well, and prior to this fight happening, they're shopping or something, and they had that conversation where she's very obviously ready to hit the next step,
which is meet my parents.
And I want to meet your parents, and that's one of those red flags of him being like, oh, the 2-day rule, and it's
time nerd stuff.
So what happens then? It's like, he goes to the show and he hooks up with someone.
Yeah, and they don't ever. Well, here's the interesting thing, right? Is that they address that in the movie, but they don't address it in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, they address it so that we know what's going on and we know where he's at, which is like, okay, I'm moving on. And even though he does still care about her, which is a very real thing. It's not like Ross and Rachel where it's like we're on a break or anything like that. It's very much. And so just in a realistic point of view, the fact that they put that in the movie, I think, is a testament to their relationship now, too. Because,
and I think, then it kind of shows, he kind of has that kind of confusing, like, why am I here? Like, and, the friend calls him, and I actually think a missed opportunity was him kicking this girl out to be like, oh, my ex-girlfriend's in the hospital, you gotta go.
Oh,
because she just kind of vanishes into the ether.
Well, and that's really the driving point of the rest of the movie, is that she goes into the hospital, and he has to, and that's the thing too, is I didn't know, they don't show it in the trailer at all, is he's the one that makes the decision to put her into a coma. Yeah. Which, that's a very interesting...
and the doctor is super pushy about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a very present kind of medical, it's very pressing, that like, it needs to happen now.
Yeah.
So he keeps like being like, are you her husband? And you can tell that he knows that he's not the husband, but he does so I'm going to ask you again, are you her husband? Because the family's not around.
Right.
And so that all happens, and then he eventually calls the parents and brings them into the mix,
which he should have done and did.
Well, and I think one of the nurse who comes in later to talk about moving her, she's the one who tells him to call his family, call her family. But, they come down, and then we get the joys of Holly Hunter and Ray Romano in our lives.
Oh, I know, right. And the trailer tells you, like, that's the point of the movie. And, it's kind of the through line that gets you to the end. But first off, I'm a champion of Ray Romano, but he is phenomenal. They're both phenomenal in this movie.
He underplayed it so well, because I know Ray Romano's comedy a little bit, but I mostly know him as like Deborah, like everybody loves Raymond.
True. Yeah.
It's very sitcom-y, and he, oh my god, he was amazing in this movie.
We rewatched Parenthood, and I'm not gonna lie, that is not a feel-good show. It's one of those deceptive, like, first season is all mostly feel-good, some drama, and then it's like, do you watch This Is Us?
No, because I feel like it's just cry-bait, and I know a lot of people need that cathartic thing.
No, but that's literally what it is, but it's really good. But Ray Romano plays a character who has Asperger's in that show, and one of the other main character's family, his son, has Asperger's, so it's kind of that. But and his unique twist is that he has kids, but we've never seen in the show Parenthood to that point a parent who is divorced and it's not going well, because most of the families in Parenthood, they're going well. If they have hiccups or bumps, whatever, it gets worked out by the end of the season. Parenthood is Hank's wife on Breaking Bad, that's his ex-wife, and she's in San Diego, and he's up north, and that's like 2 hours away. He doesn't see his daughter that much, and then when he does see her, he's out of touch with her, and he's trying desperately to get... And so at one point, he even calls his ex-wife. He's like, she lied to me. She's having a house party. What do I do? Well, you go in there and you break it up. But then she'll hate me. She already hates you probably for a million other things you haven't done yet. Just go in there and do it. Right. And when she does it, you can see it, like, and it breaks him. And I was telling Sarah, I was like, it's the best scene. I like it because he's not even really the lead character in that show, but he's like 5 seasons later or something. But he's so good, and that's why I was like, I really like Ray Romano a lot. So I was seeing this, I was like, God, he's so goddamn good. It's really good. And then Holly Hunter, so good in everything.
I'm really happy that he's gotten a chance to, show that he's not just like the like mid '90s, early 2000s, like
comedian,
weak-backed comedian dad who's like, oh, and
Kevin James. What? I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I didn't.
What happened?
That was a weird voice throw. Yeah,
it's like a ghost in here or something.
Kevin James. I like Kevin James too, but I mean, come on, bro. Why?
But yeah,
when Adam Sandler asks you to make a movie, you say no. Anyway,
but no, Ray Romano and Holly Hunter
are really good together.
Oh, dude, and you can just see, and I think they talk about their kind of backstory a little bit and how they're also kind of an opposites attract story, which I think kind of helps Kumail sort of realize throughout the second half of the movie, like how much he actually really cares about Emily and how he's willing to kind of give up this huge part of his life for her.
And it starts off that he's no, he doesn't start off. I mean, he's there for her because he is genuinely worried. He cares about her.
Well, I mean, he even the parents kind of dismiss him.
Yes,
because they know that they broke up, and
Holly
Hunter's like we know all about you. Goodbye. And he leaves, and then they show him in the club being like, it's okay that I'm not there, right? And him kind of second guessing it, and then he goes back anyway. Right. Lots of feelings.
And the interesting thing is that Ray Romano's the dad is the one that is a little bit more open to him, where he's just more like, look, it is what it is. Let's just kind of, and that pisses his wife off because their backstory is that at one point he cheated on her, and I can't even imagine what that would be like. And because there would be that, well, you did it once, you'll do it again, and dealing with that, and that's something that will always be there. And it will come up in weird, ugly... and he even says that. He's like, well, whatever you do, don't fall in love or don't... Or he says don't cheat, obviously, but he's like, don't...
It's like a two-parter. The first one is, he's like, you don't realize how much you love someone until you cheat on him.
Right.
And then he says, love is hard. And that's the one
I thought it would be something more...
He's like, I figured if I started talking, something good would come out.
You just never mind.
Also, just another one of my favorite lines from that little scene is his who goes to a math conference to get laid? Math teachers?
But again, and it's funny, but it's played it's stream of conscious, he's genuinely just talking, and even Kumail is just like, why are you telling me? It's it's an awkward situation.
It's a very awkward situation, and I mean, he also then has the bonding moment earlier with the mother too.
Yes,
when they get back from
the comedy club,
the comedy club, which Holly Hunter, my heart, because, oh man, hecklers are the worst thing in the world.
They are.
And especially drunk hecklers. And than racist motherfuckers like that, you know, that frat boy character was. And
the frat boy character. Yeah, you know, he has that on his resume, like frat boy comedian at comedy club. He's really proud of that. Well, I mean, it's on. You got screen time anyway.
Absolutely,
sorry.
And it's one of those things that, you know, that scene happened and her just like lashing out at him, and obviously not just because she obviously at this point doesn't really have a big connection with his character, but I think it's her kind of reacting to the other stresses in her situation in life, and she's just like, well, fuck you, and like just goes after him. I
think, now this is interesting too. I agree with that 100%. I also kind of feel too is that I think she realizes she might have been really hard on him.
Yeah.
Well, because when they first sit down, or she lets her husband unintentionally be racist with the whole joke about 9/11.
Like, you never talked about 9/11?
Which that's a genuine laugh out loud. It's like, you never talked about 9/11 before? Like, it's just like, oh no. Wow. And she just kind of left it happen because she's pissed at him for what he did, and she should be pissed. It wasn't handled well. So I feel like that moment's a bit of both. It's just like you get kind of shit on for just being yourself and that's not fair to you.
Well, and I feel like the three of them, you know, they bond over the fact that all three of them are kind of strangers in a strange land. Because I feel like the movie does a really good job at sort of setting up the seriousness of the situation. Like him trying to navigate the hospital when he first gets there. Because like hospitals are these like labyrinthian, terrible things.
Oh, I know.
And you know, watching him kind of walk through there and just like looking at all the different people, and he's like, and then you know the parents have to come in there from they live down south somewhere.
Yeah, like North Carolina or something.
Yeah.
When that's far.
It is, and they're like staying at her apartment in Chicago, and it's just this whole thing where you're like,
and you don't really see her apartment at all up until that point.
Up until they stay there, and
it's all his. So that's a good point. It's literally three strangers in a strange land because they don't get to come up that much. She usually comes to them. I think.
But then if you look at it, the bonding time actually happens at more of kind of like a known place because they go back to Emily's apartment, and that's like where the mom and him bond, and like they show her the pictures of her in high school and
goth phase.
I really enjoyed kind of how they sort of navigated like the parents sort of, you know, accepting him and, you know, getting to know him a little bit better.
So good.
And oh my goodness. And, you know, I also love how later in the movie I wanted to scream like, don't read the comments, when she's like looking up all the hospitals in Chicago, which leads to the whole like she wants to move Emily to Northwestern instead of leaving her where she is. And, you know, that kind of creates sort of almost, I wouldn't climactic conflict maybe, because that's kind of where
it's the ticking clock of the.
That's kind of where the three of them. That's where the three of them kind of break rank. And he's like, no, you shouldn't move her. And, you know, they're like, and like, you know, Ray Romano's like, well, I'll fall in line because I don't want to piss her off anymore. Yeah,
because at that point, they're not doing well. At that point, it looks like they might actually split up. I mean, it looks pretty rough. Yeah, and I think it's a bit of both. I think, like, she's like, look, I tried. She doesn't want to do it. I don't want to piss her off anymore. But the doctors are also saying this. Like, well, of course the doctors are saying, or whoever else, the other doctors at the hospital are saying this because they want the money probably really more. And, you know, it's also a difference. That's how I'm kind of taking it. I guess that's me projecting on that scene a little bit. But so he has to kind of stand up to, because at this point he's not really confronted Holly Hunter, and he has to kind of stand up to her a little bit too. And it doesn't necessarily. Well, you think it doesn't go well, and of course, spoiler alert, it does. Well, he kind of talks him into getting her to stay.
Well, no, isn't it? It's because the infection reaches like it gets like en masse, like infects like her heart, and so they can't move her.
Oh, that's right.
Because at first, like I think it's like they do a surgery, then it moves to
but
somewhere else.
But wasn't that the whole thing? Is that they wanted to move her anyway?
Well, no, it was before that happened. Because then like they're gonna move her, and he like leaves, and then goes and does his big audition. And then that's when he like gets the phone call and then has like the breakdown on stage.
Can I say that is my least favorite part of the movie?
Really?
Okay, now, you know, it's very good, but here's my thing. If at any time a character walks up to a microphone and has to do a speech, a presentation, an act, anything, they always do the big come to Jesus moment in front of a large crowd. And it's a trope I do not care for.
Okay.
Now, when I'm watching, I was like, don't you fucking dare. God damn it. It's really good, though. That's the weird thing. Is like, I still don't like the scene.
But it was well done.
It was well done. But Don't do that.
And then it also leads to like her seeing the video later.
And so that point, and that point, because that's the other thing too. I was like, and also people would be, and then they do that. It's like I watched the video on YouTube. It's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah,
like you kind of made a like, why would you do that? He's like, I was having. You were not doing.
I was having a day.
I was having a day, but so it did pay off really well. But just in general, if you put that in your movie, I'm not going to. I'm going to probably, even if I'm enjoying a great deal, I will probably be. That will go on my. I do not like that list. I don't have any for that movie except
I've never thought of that, but no, that is a trope that happens quite often.
Random side bit, and then we can go back to Big Tech. There is a movie that I enjoy. It's not a well-loved movie. It's called Picture Perfect with Jennifer Aniston and Jay Moore. Jay Moore of all people.
That sounds really familiar, but I don't think I know.
She has to give her whole thing is that she really loves Kevin Bacon, but he will only date women who are dating somebody else. Like he likes to cuckold the other guy. Mm-hmm. And so she runs into Jay Moore, and he genuinely likes her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, look, I'll make you a deal. I want to sleep with my one coworker, but he will only date me if I'm dating someone else. And so how about we do a fake dating thing? It's that thing, which is already a cliche trope.
That's a fan fiction trope right there.
It is.
Fake dating, fake married.
Right. And he goes along with it, but he's like, well, can I actually genuinely go on fake dates with you? And he gets to know her, and he does a lot of, he genuinely likes her.
Yeah.
And she's being a real total asshole to him. And look, it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, they work in an ad agency and they do presentations, and I think the movie opens with one. So the end of it is, she does this big presentation in front of him, and she realizes he got her something really nice that was lost from her childhood, and he remade it for her. Mm-hmm. Boom. And you're going like, oh, but it's right in the middle of a presentation. So she just looks in this envelope, looks at the watch he made, and just like, you know what? I just need to tell everybody everything. And you're just like, this is the plot of the movie. And you know what? And I like you. I like you, but you only like me if I. Why? Why would you do that? So you know what? I love somebody else really important right now, and I gotta go. And it's just like I hate that. So it's just a good movie up until that point.
I'm thinking about it right now. Do you know who takes that trope and spins it on its head really well?
Who?
Down with Love with Ewan McGregor and.
I haven't seen that for years.
Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger.
And she has that moment at the end where she basically tells Ewan McGregor, she's like, well, actually, I was your secretary, and then I decided that I was going to become blonde and write a famous book and get you da-da-da-da-da-da. And, like, there's, like, a 5-minute monologue where she basically turns the entire tale on its head.
Right, because you meet her right when she's already blonde, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have no idea about her backstory until he does the whole, like, I've been lying to you this whole time. I'm not actually an astronaut. And she goes, well, let me tell you. And, it kind of ends with panning back to Ewan McGregor's face, and he's just completely, like aghast.
Right.
He's just like, oh,
and
what?
And that is really good, by the way, because it is a wonderful depiction of the old Doris Day rock Hudson films.
Yeah,
and David Hyde Pierce is the Tony Randall character.
Yes. Laura Spires and I actually have a moment. We always love that one line where he's like, "Where's my geisha? I need my shoes." I don't know why, but we quote that line at each other a lot.
He has a very wonderful and delicate way of saying things. When I started Frasier, he was my favorite character. Like, I liked Frasier, but, like, you love everyone more than Frasier in that show, at least at the start. And he always has a weird, like, he pronounces things just right, articulate and feminine, but yet not. And, acting talent. Anyway, so going back to Big Six, that's literally my only complaint with that whole movie is just that, and they still do it really well. But, so he does the big come to Jesus moment in front of everyone. It gets taped on YouTube, which we're not surprised, but it doesn't come up at first. And she wakes up, and you're thinking this is where the movie's going to end.
See, I think that's my biggest complaint with the movie. It's her twice doing the whole, like, nah, dog, get out of my face. And, I think obviously the first time she's like still on drugs, so like that was also just like the very childlike way that she's like, you make me sad and you make my heart sad, and like I don't want to see you ever again, and you're like, oh, and then
because you're thinking that's the end of the movie,
yeah,
so
and then you think at the party later that like, oh, that's when they're gonna get together, and then like then she kind of comes around on it, and suddenly she's like, oh, what am I doing? But then finds out he's moving to New York, so there's like 3 misses, and I felt like because it's a Judd Apatow movie, right?
Yeah.
Or it's involved, like, I feel like Judd Apatow movies in general are always about, like, 30 to 40 minutes too long.
Yeah.
In all, I feel like any movie you're like, oh, I mean, that's okay, but they could have probably done without that. Like, I could have...
Probably. It's like Return of the King. Do we really need all those endings? I mean, do they make the story better? A little, but did we really need it?
Or did you at least need to black out every time and make everyone think that the movie was over?
That's true. Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you bastard, Peter Jackson.
But they do like that. That's kind of my one thing. I was like, oh, okay, like we get it. You both like each other again. But I do love how they bookended.
Yeah, that's very true. Yes,
the movie, because it's like, oh, it mirrors how they met with her like heckling him, oh god, it was
and that's the thing too is I really love too, which is they then give you the real Emily and Kumail, which and apparently they got married I think like a month or two later in real life.
Yeah, there's actually a really good fresh air with the two of them talking about the movie. And talking with Terry Gross with fresh air, and she's interviewing them about like how the events that actually inspired the movie, and them kind of being writing partners and everything. And they said like they got married like a few months after she woke up, and it wasn't this like will they won't they like near miss thing that they kind of depict in the movie, probably for dramatic reasons, but it was more of a like. He talked about how, like, looking at her in the hospital, and he's like, if she wakes up, I'm going to marry this girl. And then, there was never, like, a proposal. Like, they just were like, all right, we're going to get married. And then they got married.
And the interesting thing, too, which is it's very nice, because the movie also ends kind of on a dour note for his family, which is the dad will always love him and is forgiving him, because he's like, you're doing this for love, but I have to fall in line. Here's the dish that your mother made, but your mom will not talk or see you.
Well, I think that the mom making the food is a sign of her
being open to it. Yeah, but it's still left on a very like it could be years before this properly mends.
Oh, absolutely. And they address this in the Terry Gross interview about how his mom never came close to disowning him. Like that's like the thing that's one of the big things they actually changed for the movie. I think, to give it more dramatic. Like prompt.
I thought I read somewhere it's like the parents on both sides were not as bad as they were depicted in the movie. Like I think he said Emily's dad never cheated on his on his wife.
Yeah, and I think they talk about how when Kumail first told his mom about Emily in the hospital, like the mom was very concerned because she was in the hospital and in a coma, and it was only after she woke up that she like got mad and yelled at him for like keeping this relationship from her. Yeah, but I don't think it ever got like as serious as like we do not see you.
See, I didn't know that, but. The great thing is too is that they show the pictures of the wedding during the credits, the real Kumail and Emily, and it's. I think her parents and his parents are both there. So you go, oh, good. And so then when you hear publicly that they got married a few months after, you're like, oh, good. Okay. Whew. Yeah. But if it wasn't that bad, that's good then. But odd side note with the production, the dad, I do not know his name, but he is a famous Indian actor.
Yeah, actually,
like Bollywood.
I was reading today that the only Kumail and then the actor that played his brother are actual, like, they're Pakistani actors. Like, the rest of the family were all Indian. So, but yeah, I've seen him in things before. I can't place where exactly.
I think he's done like 1,000 movies.
He's one of those like faces that like he's a character actor that I've definitely seen in a lot of stuff before.
And his dad, he even said, "Dad, if I hire someone, who do you want to play?" And he's like this, and he asked him, and he said yes.
Oh,
right.
I love that.
And of course, his dad apparently is going. I think it was on Ellen or something. He's like, or no, it was Colbert, because that's what he's like. Yeah, Emily's mom and dad are up there, and by the way, she did not really, because they showed the scene where he's like, don't ever cheat on your wife. Yeah. They showed that clip. And so he's like, and by the way, he never cheated on her. We made that up for the movie for, drama purposes. But he pointed out, like, my dad just walks around to people and says, my who plays me in my son's movie? That guy. Yeah. And apparently his mom did not love... There are some things in the movie she does not love, but the dad doesn't care because he's played by that one guy. And I'm just like, well, that's an interesting way to look at that. So, like, if you would love to be played by, I mean, this is a bad example because he's no longer alive, but if my dad would like, I want to be played by Paul Newman in a movie of your life, and I get Paul Newman, and my dad's like, that part where the dad character totally shits on you, and I did that in real life, and everyone hates me for it for a little bit, I don't care because Paul Newman played me. Yeah, and I'm just like, that's interesting. That's a very interesting thing. And apparently, I don't. Maybe the mom just didn't get that same. It's like, why didn't you get someone more? I don't know.
No. I mean,
I think the dad was more comically obsessed with that in real life. I don't know.
Yeah, that's so cute. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I first got introduced to Kumail on Dan Harmon's podcast on
Harmontown. Yeah, because him and the other guy from Nerdist occasionally host it or they open it up, don't they?
Yeah. Like Jonah Ray.
Jonah Ray, yeah.
Yeah, Jonah Ray does it. And Kumail was on it. And the reason I kind of got to know about him was they would do D&D on Harmontown.
Yes, and he would occasionally play.
Yes, and he would I forget the character name, but he would sing Lady in Red all the time, and it just would crack. I would be cackling in my car by myself.
It makes me kind of hope that he is on the second season of Harmon Quest, because Dan Harmon now is no longer with his now his ex-wife, and she was on the show.
Erin McGath,
which I do, yeah, and so now it's just but I didn't know he did that. Because here's the thing, sometimes Harmontown is amazing, and other times Harmontown is just literally the ramblings of a drunken madman.
Yeah, that was actually, I went to the Pittsburgh live show.
Did you really?
The one where him and it turned into a 40-minute relationship discussion between him and Erin McGathy.
Oh my god.
It was intense.
After, is that before they married or after they married?
Before, I want to say, because I think...
Don't they put that in the documentary?
Actually, I don't think they do show it in the documentary.
They don't show it. They show the aftermath because the movie becomes the documentary is good, but it comes about. Was it Spencer? The guy who,
a little bit, about Spencer.
Yeah, the movie ends up becoming about him because it's it starts off as a joke.
Yeah,
and then it's no, this is about this guy. I mean, this documentary is about this guy because
it's his story. He kind of But no, I ended up going out to Pittsburgh with my friend Amy.
Yeah,
and seeing it, and I was like, yeah, all right. And then it turned into this real 500 people watching them have a real big fight on stage because they started playing D&D and. He had made a joke earlier about a redhead, a fantasy redhead that he wanted to fuck, and she took a lot of. She had some bones about that she wanted to discuss, and it was just whew, okay. And then afterwards, you go out and everyone's signing autographs, and you're like, hey, great job.
Yeah, great job having therapy on stage.
A little bit.
And getting paid to do it. I get good for you.
I mean, they still ended up getting engaged and then married, and the marriage obviously didn't last, but I think that the two of them still do very much love each other.
Okay,
because they still interact occasionally.
Do they?
I think they do because I've seen stuff here and there, where she met the new girlfriend, and because I follow all of them on Instagram and various social media.
Well, I follow him on Twitter, but sometimes it's hit or miss. Is it Jeff? What's the other guy's name? Jeff
Davis.
Jeff Davis.
Jeff Davis.
He is. Did you watch Harmon Quest, by the way?
I don't watch Harmon Quest.
He ends up being my favorite part of that. And the thing that kind of bothers me is that I feel like Spencer is keeping it straight. Jeff is kind of being for real, and Dan is maybe 1/4 of the time being real, and then they let the guests come in and just kind of fuck it up. And that's fine.
Greg Proops is a great example of that. He would come in and fuck it up all the time with the D&D stuff on Harmontown.
And Greg Proops is an amazing improviser, and I am okay with him doing that. I would feel I'd probably be fine with Kumail, but Audrey Plaza did a character, and it's like the old joke of a person starting to play the game and then just randomly they just do whatever they want, and they go, well, no, you can't necessarily do that. And also they trim a 2-hour session down into a half hour.
Oh my god!
So you're missing some stuff, and then they animate some of it to make it look a little bit more plausible.
I would say it's kind of hard to summarize a D&D campaign, or even just a session, unless you get it to a tight hour. Because there'd be nights when I played D&D with the boys that I used to live with.
Yeah,
it'd be 4 or 5 hour sessions every week for 3 years, and that. Yeah, that stuff is hard to keep track of.
It is. It's well. Anyway,
I couldn't imagine. Gaming. We're just talking about podcasting now.
Podcasting,
and D&D.
Well, Dan Harmon is kind of openly nuts, in my opinion, in a good way. In a good way. I mean, he gives us Community, Rick and Morty. I'm not complaining.
I'm absolutely kind of obsessed with him, and he really, I think, embodies that kind of classically sort of alcoholic, like kind of romanticized kind of vision of the writer, you know?
Yes, I agree with that.
Misanthrope's a great word for him, and I also just really love him because we share a birthday, January 3rd.
I see.
Yes. But no, he's definitely like unhinged at certain points, and just like it's kind of amazing to watch him sometimes and just like listen to him talk, because I think he does have a really good perspective on the human condition.
He does. But
self-reflected, maybe not so much.
Yeah, like I feel like sometimes, well, honestly, in some ways, I feel like he is an embodiment of Rick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, very self-hating, is actually kind and considerate, but it's weird for him to show it, or if he does, he tries to undercut it. It's very self-destructive, though. That's I think the biggest key there is, even though he's really smart, very self-destructive.
Yeah, no, I'm also, like, it's kind of the same thing where, you know, I was having a conversation with our friend Kat about this.
Yeah.
We had brunch the other day, and we were talking about how
I love Kat.
We all feel like we both feel like we're really good people, but we're also kind of, like I was like, I'm kind of an asshole, though, you know, and I'm like, I like a lot of people. Like, if I don't like a person, I don't speak to them. Like, if I'm busting someone's balls and like giving someone shit, it's because I like enjoy them in some way, shape, or form. And then like you kind of like have to dig under many layers to find my niceness. Did
you do the Sahara thing?
No, fuck that. Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm going to tell, and I hope Kat doesn't mind I say this, but it involves Kat, and I don't know why I was just emotionally, I don't know what, again, I think I felt like emotionally defeated after August or July was over, and I just like, I hadn't, because of everything's going on, I've not really spent a lot of time with the wife, and just like, I haven't seen my parents in a while, like, I just am like, I feel like I'm in this cave, and emotionally I'm there, and I just remember, I think you did say, "Oh fuck no," on a Facebook comment thread for Kat, and then I posted, I was like, I already hate myself more. Why do I need more of that? And Kat posted a very nice comment. Point is, it was very sweet, and I just remember I woke up and that was the first thing I read, and I just started to cry.
Aww.
And I literally, I was like, God damn it. So then I wrote, and I was like, by the way, thank you so much. And then it was too long. It wouldn't let me post it. So I just privately messaged, like, this was going to be an Alaharan, but I don't fucking care. I was going to tell you who it was.
Yeah.
But thank you. That really meant a lot to me. But I don't think mentally I can do what you're doing right now with that. God love people who do. I can't do it. Because I already hate myself enough.
And it was one of those where she posted about it, and I'd seen it a couple other places, and I'm like, all right, I'm raising my 30-year-old hand and asking what the fuck.
That's what it was, yeah.
This? And then, you know, she explained it to me, and I'm like, I mean, I already feel like I know that everybody hates me in my head because I'm paranoid and anxious all the time. Like, why would I want an actual confirmation of that hate?
Right. And then her comments are like another train of, like, was it Anna and Jimmy saying very nice things, and I was like, God damn, I don't want that. But thank you. But like but yeah,
that's very sweet. But thank you.
But thank you. It's like, thank you. So fuck you. Thank you.
I said good day.
Good day, sir. I said good day. Yeah, but it was just very like, oh God. And I was like, I am not ready to deal. I can't do something like that. I don't know how people do.
I don't either.
How the fuck did we? Sorry, how did we?
I have no idea.
Sorry,
but I was going to go back to like me talking about busting balls.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Things that this movie did really, really well.
Yes, bust balls.
Comedians busting each other's balls all the time.
Yes,
which
and
I'm not
very much a real thing.
Friends with a lot of comedians per se, but I am friends with a lot of improvers, and I feel like the two of them are kind of
very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
You are correct.
All they do is like give each other shit all the time, and it's like kind of fascinating to watch.
And the one friend who's not really good at being a stand, like they even joke at Chris, the roommate, he's really bad at doing that too. Like he's almost just like, yeah, well, you're a fucking piece of shit over there, fucking this, that, blah, 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 really funny stuff. And he's like, your face or what, like it's not even good. It was so
well, and even him trying to razz Kumail like before his like big audition, and he's like, oh, you want me to he's like playing like this like horrible clown from a Shakespeare tragedy that's just
seriously, you need to stop.
Just like, get the fuck out of my face right now.
I'm being serious. Get the fuck out of my face.
But yeah, oh my god, like there was just so many things about this movie that had me like chuckling or laughing, and I'm just like, God, that's just, and not even like I said, not those laugh out loud funny lines, but the ones that just like they were said, and I'm like, like just driving by our house in a cul-de-sac, like was one of them. And
well, it's very obvious observations, but done in a realistic way. So it's almost, in a way, it's almost like stand-up comedy, but it's not. It's very well done.
Oh yeah. Oh, and something we didn't talk about, the one scene where she has to take a shit. And she's like trying to leave in the middle of the night to get coffee and is like acting really weird.
Yes,
and it's kind of funny because like when you first see the movie, I'm like, oh, is like she emotionally unstable? What's going on here? What's happening? But then like she like, I have to take a shit, okay? And I'm like, that is. Oh, like I've had like those middle of the night fears before, like at a guy's house, and I'm like, oh my god, like I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold this till morning. What the fuck am I going to do? This is terrible. Da, 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 da. And like I'm like, that is just like the realest thing that I've seen.
Yeah, I've never been privy to that thought process before. So when I saw that in the movie, I was just like, that makes sense.
And
I get it.
That has happened to me.
Because I can understand from the guy perspective. I've never experienced it from the girl perspective, which is like, well, okay, from the guy perspective, you don't want to fart right away. At some point you do, because then if you're a farter, you want to make sure this is a common
and also, like,
thing.
the human body, it's what happens.
It is.
But it was one of those things
sometimes more than others.
Exactly.
And it's okay. You know what? You have a problem, it's all right.
The thing is, if you don't fart, that means something's wrong with your body.
That's right. And where's all that gas going to?
Exactly. We had a whole exhibit at COSI once about how farting is actually good for you.
Can I just say, why do you guys have beanbag balls and boobs? Why did you guys have that there? You guys still have... I think you guys still have it
in the life exhibit.
In the life exhibit. Because literally every time kids would come by, that's all they would start playing with. When they would go by the fart piano. And then right next to it, they would play with the balls. Or the girls would play with the balls. Guys would play with the boobs.
Which is a literal bag of sand, which is like a 40-year-old virgin joke. It feels like a bag of sand. You ever felt a pair of tits before? But no, actually, with those, with the balls and the boobs at COSI,
it's a real thing. I'm not
the
kidding,
number one family science center in America. There's videos. There is a button next to it, but you have to hold the button down like the entire time to make the video play, because if you unhold the button, it's like a kill switch and the video just stops, because it's a video showing a man and a woman doing like a lump check on like a testicular lump check, and then like a self-exam. So if you ever go to COSI again, go to actually COSI After Dark is really fun for adults because they have booze there and no kids, which is fun.
I'm okay. How does that go with the unicycle? Do they open that?
I think so. I think it's open for After Dark.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't worked there in 5 years, so.
No, right. But the idea of booze and that, because I'm already...
Oh, well, I mean, you're strapped in pretty well to that.
Do you strap you in?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a little harness, and and then if you get stuck out there, they have a little hook that they can pull you back, because I've
seen the hook once.
That was my favorite thing to do. When I worked at the box office there, I would watch kids freak out on the high wire and then get pulled back by the hook, and it's like the we would be like, oh, this kid's gonna be a screamer. Here it comes. And you'd be like, it was just the funniest thing in the world. But no,
it's almost like a horrible bet going on. It's like, he's gonna scream. No, he's not. Wait for it. Wait. Hear it.
The best is when they would scream, when they would go backwards, because the first thing, you go backwards all the way, and then you cycle back into the port. And so when the kids would start screaming immediately on launch, that was always the best, because you knew they were going to get stuck. They weren't going to be able to pedal back.
So wait a minute, you go backwards when you go out?
Yes, because you're strapped in, and basically they launch you out, and you pedal backwards, then you stop, then you pedal forward, and you go back into the
For some reason, I thought you went forward and then went backwards, and in retrospect, that is probably better. I mean, if I ever had the balls to do something, which I do not.
I've never done it.
Nope. I barely can function when I go into an amusement park ride. I cannot do it.
Yeah, no, but they do After Dark there, where you can go, and you can go to the exhibits with no kids around. It's it's at night once a month. They're doing a Halloween themed one here soon. Ooh. But you go, and if you go into life and you go and find the boobs and the balls. How did we get on this topic?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about boobs and balls.
You can learn how to give yourself a breast exam or a testicular.
I'm excited.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing: is that I don't remember there being a video button.
It's there.
Is there?
Yeah,
it's hidden.
There.
You have to feel around for it and do a check.
Well, the thing I never really got an answer on is I didn't know if there were actually supposed to be lumps in the fake boob.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Someone needs to go there and figure it out. And you know what? I feel that I'm the best suited for the job. Is there anything else that you would like to add to the big sick?
Oh, God. Let me see if I took notes.
I know you did. You are more prepared than I.
Can we have an awkward hug bye before we part forever? Like when she like breaks up with him the second time.
Oh yeah.
And then like that's like right before they go into the relationship because like he calls her immediately like outside of her apartment.
Again, that whole. But again, it's as you said, it's like it's a perfect moment of when you're in that awkward.
Mm-hmm. It was so cute. The brother saying like, "Mom will fucking ghost you," because when he talks to his brother about dating a white girl, and he's like, "What's it called when somebody just stops texting you?" It's like ghosting. Mom will fucking ghost you.
Yeah, ghosting is the worst.
Ghosting is the worst. And you know, I will admit, I have been the ghoster before, and I see why people do it because it's just easy. But no. Be an adult and just tell someone that you're not interested in them anymore. Right?
Like that's it's way easier. And but don't be too honest. Don't say because I had this happen to me once.
Yeah, don't say here's all the things that are terrible about you.
Well, I didn't have that. I just said I'm not interested in you, but I just wanted free dinner. And that's that's why I was like, God damn it. True story. That's how I met my wife. Is that not that way? But like later we went out as friends and the whole night it was just me because I was very fresh off that bitching the whole time at dinner. Well, because we're talking about our relationships and I was just bitching about it. And so she picked up the Oh yeah. It's one of those things. It's just like that was the red flag right off the bat. Why did I pay for this guy's dinner? And then I agreed to meet him again. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like anyway.
It's disgusting.
It is.
Oh my god. Yeah, just everything about this movie. I adored this movie. I have not like enjoyed a movie this much in a very long time.
It feels
Usually I'm such a nitpicky asshole, as anyone who's heard the Beauty and the Beast podcast would know.
Oh, like, trust me, same here.
Oh, and then like after the comedy club where Holly Hunter almost like kicks a frat boy's ass, and then she's like asks him, "Does that happen a lot?" And he goes, "No, usually a different mom comes and helps me."
Oh God! See,
and just also like the let's stress eat. Like that is a very. And him going to the burger joint and like asking for a hamburger with cheese, or no, 4 slices of cheese, and then he like goes and freaks out on the driver. Like
and then he apologizes like, "I am so sorry. Let me help you with that."
I'll just take 4 burgers. And that was like the moment where I'm like, stress eating. We all do it.
Oh my God! So
this. Like, what a fucking delightful movie.
It is, and I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I feel people throw this around, but I genuinely feel it is a feel-good movie, and it's well-written. And again, like, if my biggest complaint is you did the big come to Jesus in a public moment, but still it's a well-done version of that, yes. I kind of, in that same regard, then withdraw the criticism, and I kind of feel this should be a Best Picture nom.
Really? Okay.
I really do feel that way. I don't think it will.
Probably not.
It probably will because the Academy hates us.
Yeah, probably.
I feel, but honestly, like it covers a lot of things too, but it doesn't in a very like everyone will enjoy it kind of way. Especially since and this is the other thing too. I feel like this is awesome. The movie is so big, is that it shows because they're practicing. So they practice they practice Islam, right? Am I doing that wrong? I'm so sorry. Yeah. Well, there are some people, especially in the way our country is right now, that's very much like all Islams are terrorists. And they make a joke about it for once, and they never really talked about it again. I think before Ray Romano shows up, and again he's not trying to be racist. He's just like, let's talk about. He's like, this is awkward. My wife hates you. Talk about 9/11, and he's not trying to be. But he's like, you've never. It's like you said, he never talked about 9/11 with anyone before. It's an awkward, but. In our troubled times, there's a bit of a relief that goes, the fact that there are people of that side that are enjoying the movie as well, they might hopefully glean something from it. I hope. I mean, I'm genuinely, because I'm just like, look, they're not all terrorists. I even hate saying it like that, but I also take comfort in that the movie is still going on, and so at some point these people have to be seeing the movie.
I hope so. I mean,
because there's too much other stuff for me to go back for a second time, even though I desperately want to, because I love the movie a lot. I haven't seen any movie twice this summer, except for Guardians.
Yeah, well, I mean, it probably would.
No, I haven't
seen it. It's probably going to come out digitally soon, I think.
Yeah, and if so, I still do that thing where I want to buy the Blu-ray and the digital, like when they do the combo thing. So if I, for whatever reason, I can't watch whatever, I can watch the whatever. Whatever. Thank you. Take a drink, everybody at home. By the way, someone emailed me and said, I'm afraid of getting drunk because you fuck up so many things on the show. And I just said, you might want to move to juice, but you might get diabetes. I mean, so be careful. Yeah.
I think, as is the case with any drinking game, you can identify certain rules that you want to follow. My cousin and I very stupidly tried to play the Law and Order SVU drinking game one time.
What's that? I'm sure it's probably the is one.
Yeah, the chung. God, I can't remember the specific rules, but I do remember the one rule. And, we were like, oh, this won't happen to us. And we just, kind of did, a Russian roulette, picked an episode. But one of the rules is, if BD Wong shows up, chug your drink until it's gone.
Why?
And we were on an episode that BD Wong just happened to be on. And we were like, oh fuck.
No. I love BD Wong, by the way. I think he's a wonderful... I just remember watching the first Jurassic Park movie, and I was like, BD, I know that guy. Yeah, and then I was like, as a matter of fact, that's how I learned who BD Wong was. I was like, I like him. I've seen him in something else. And then I was like, BD Wong. And then, IMDb started to become a thing, and I was like, BD Wong!
That's kind of how I finally learned the name of Wallace Shawn. For years and years, I could never remember Wallace Shawn's name. I was just
took me a second, but I was like, yeah, exactly. Princess Bride.
It's one of those things Princess Bride, Clueless, Toy Story,
Rex. That's the biggest one, really.
Yeah, and all these other movies, and I was like, what's that guy's name? He's in this and this and this. Oh, Wallace Shawn. I'll remember that next time. I didn't remember.
What's the movie they make fun of in Community? Is it Dinner with Andre?
My Dinner with Andre.
My Dinner with Andre. He's, I think, one of the other. He's not Andre. He's the one of the guy having dinner with, isn't he? Yeah, and so I think so.
I've never seen it.
If you know, know what you have to do.
I've always meant to.
Take your diabetes drink. All right, that's all I have for...
I think that's all I have, too. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think even, the next day, because Dallas and I went to go see it, and, I just commented, ugh. And you were like, is this a good or a bad?
Well, no, right, because Dallas very obviously liked the movie. And, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, no, did she like... When she said, ugh, I was like... I hope she liked it.
No, those were feelings. Because I was I just kind of went limp at the end of the movie, and I was like, oh my god, it was so good.
Yeah, and it's one of the few times too where when the credits were rolling, we were watching everything. My wife and I were both like, that was a really good movie, and I don't think we saw Manchester by the Sea, and it's a depressing movie.
That's what I've heard.
It's good, and it deserves some of the accolades. Casey Affleck is a dick, so he probably didn't deserve that, but he was still good in it, if that makes sense. Well, he supposedly beats women, that's why.
I know.
Okay, sorry.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Asshole. Yeah. Anyway, but I remember watching the movie, I was like, well, I enjoyed that, but I like films like that, but I don't know if I want to ever see it again. It's totally Academy
There are definitely movies that you're like, okay, I'm good watching it once.
Right.
And I'm good.
That, but I was like, it almost is like my cousin V is like, it's just a really good movie. I want to watch it again. I wouldn't mind buying it. It's on HBO. I'll always turn it on.
It's going to be one of those movies that you're like, yeah, I want to watch that tonight. It is like you said, it is a feel good movie.
And I feel like Academy films that are good, and I feel that should be like that. I feel like they never those Best Picture movies that actually win are usually never like that. There are some that are, but it's
very rare that a comedy or a rom-com, for instance, would get in there. But I agree that I feel like it kind of fires on all cylinders in the best way possible.
Agreed. And I will say that if the four actors, Emily is good for supporting. I feel the girl who plays her is good for supporting. She's not in the movie as much, which again, understandably so. But the three very active leads should be, I think, all lead character I feel. Holly Hunter. And granted, if that might make
I feel like they would probably go for supporting, if anything.
They probably would, so they can get more
screen time or whatever. But no, I thought it was just, I think if not Best Picture, I think it would probably get original screenplay, maybe.
I hope. I hate that that's the consolation prize, but
it is. But at the same,
I'll take
time,
it. They would both get the award then at that point. And all right, so Kyle and I enjoyed the movie. If you like to see it, please check out Fandango or other websites that have movie times or your local listings.
Or it should be out digitally soon.
Or it should be.
We think.
That's right. That's right. And outside of that, anything you'd like to promote?
Again? Yeah, you can see me in the audience at Mad Lab coming up here soon, probably. I'm not actually in anything. Well, no, I'm sorry. Premiering on September 18th, I will be in a YouTube web series called Red Roo.
That's right.
I will not be here to talk about it in a few weeks.
That's right, because you were going to Paris.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm going to Petty, and then I'm going to go to London to feed my theater artistic soul. I'm going to go see Martin Freeman in a play.
What?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
What play?
It's a new comedy called Labor of Love. It's like a political comedy. When I first read about it, I was like, but then I'm like, but it's Martin Freeman, and it just so happens that the last night I am there is the opening night of this show. So I snagged like a real cheap like opening, like it's going to be like a restricted view kind of thing. Because like in London, when they say restricted view for a ticket, they mean it. But I'm going to go see that. I'm going to.
So wait a minute. When you say restricted view, what do you mean? Like you can't? There's some of the stage blocked because
it's blocked, or like there's a railing in your way, or you might have to lean or turn the entire time. So like it's a good way to get cheap seats to good shows. I'm also going to see.
Okay, I did not know that.
I'm seeing a show that was directed by Sam Mendes called The Ferryman, which was like named like best play of 2017, I think. And I just sort of like...
You are seeing some nice things.
Well, I sat down and I like did a ton of research one night, and I'm like, all right, what can I do these nights? And then on the first night, I'm going to go see a drama with Stockard Channing, like the woman I wanted to be when I was little. Like, she is a badass incarnate. She's
awesome.
I'm seeing some really freaking cool... Oh, and Martha from Doctor Who's also going to be in. I can't remember her damn name.
Yeah, Martha Freeman. Not Veronica, Martha?
Yeah, Martha, but her name is like Freema or yeah, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Terrible.
Freema, what's up, girl?
What's up, girl?
You know
I'm so
fine.
sorry. I'm the worst, but I am a garbage human. But I'm really excited for that. I'm going to go see some theater. I'm going to go look at some old shit. I'm going to go look at the Rosetta Stone again.
You're going to look at some old shit, some new shit, some fine shit, some straight of the line shit.
I did find out that Tom Hiddleston's going to be in a production of Hamlet while I'm there, but all the tickets are like gone because it's a fundraiser for RADA. No, it's it's a fundraiser for the school that he went to, RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, and it's also Kenneth Branagh's directing it. And I'm just like I was like, oh god.
You get two people from the Thor. You get the two people from the Thor.
You know, it's fine. I saw David Tennant and Patrick Stewart in Hamlet when I went to London last time, so I can't be that salty about it.
All right. Well, if you listen to the last episode, David Tennant does an amazing DuckTales.
I need to watch it still.
So good. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm doing Red Ruse coming up. That's premiering September 18th on YouTube.
Is it redrube.com? And then it points to YouTube, maybe?
No.
I am speaking with Michelle eventually at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a website yet. There is, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and we are on Instagram at Red Ruse Series. Yes. All one word.
The poster for the Hunters that came out the other day.
Oh my god, it looks so
badass.
Good, right?
I know.
I'll need to show you some other like kind of stuff on the DL. It'll come out soon. You all can see it later. And we're but yeah, that's premiering on the 18th. We're going to release episodes, I think, Monday and Wednesday on the YouTube channel.
How many episodes are there?
I should know this because I acted in it, but I don't. I'm the worst. But
no, I'll ask you other questions later.
We filmed them all in 2 days, so it was a whirlwind. But it was it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it.
It looks really good. Yeah, I'm excited for it too.
It's going to be good. Oh, and like our friends at So Long Stargazer, they recorded the theme for the show.
I listened to a clip of the listening party.
Oh,
really good.
It is so good.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's what I got coming up. I'm auditioning for something on Saturday, but don't want to spoil it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, good luck.
Oh, thanks.
On the air, because I'll say it afterwards, but I'll mean it then. Right now is like a faux pas. It's like a public. Of course, good luck on all you do.
Yes, ever.
Come back again, which I do hope is true. All right. Yes, check all that out. I'll have definitely links in the show notes. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you start up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!